Agency, the City of Keystone Heights. Today is September 13th, and it is 5:30. Ms. Rakowski, would you like to call roll, please?
Mayor Lake,
Here.
Vice Mayor Hart,
Here.
Councilman Bobby Brown,
Here.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Here.
Madam Mayor, Councilman Tony Brown is ill this evening, but you do have a quorum.
Thank you. Are there any public comment cards?
I have none.
Okay, can we start with agenda item A, Sunshine Media and Consulting Contract? Ms. Rakowski?
Absolutely. In your packets, you have received the contract for Sunshine Media. This is to continue our efforts of advertising our downtown area, focusing on our city with Sunshine Media. This goes with the parks video that we've already received, as well as the our Country Day video. I'll be working with Mr. Ludwig over the fall and then the Heritage Commission to do a virtual walking tour of our historic homes. And then this is something that we can contract with the Sunshine Media to continue our efforts to focus on what happens downtown with our parks, with our businesses, have a better social media presence, and then he is also here to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, I would love to talk to Mr. Ludwig. Would you like to come up to the podium, please?
Sure thing, no problem.
Has everyone met Mr. Ludwig? Yes? Everyone know Mr. Ludwig, Mr. Brown?
I don't know.
Who?
It's been
Yeah,
announced.
who?
Yeah,
What's your name?
I'm Brandon. Nice to meet you.
excellent. So can you go through the points of the contract, Ms. Rakowski, and let us know what we're agreeing to?
Absolutely. We are going to be, if agreed upon, we'll be working on $750 total per month, plus an additional $3,000 advertising budget. And Mr. Ludwig can better explain what his vision is for showcasing the downtown area, but we've had conversations. We want to make sure that people know about Keystone Heights and that they know that we are a small, quaint little town that has a lot of things that are going on. We've got a lot of improvements that are happening at our beach, a lot of movements happening downtown with our streetscapes and with our businesses, and we just want to make sure that everybody understands that we're here and we're a nice family, and Mayberry does exist.
Excellent. Any questions? Is the $3,000 an annual advertising budget, 1 year?
Yes,
Okay.
the $3,000 annual advertising, then the $750 monthly. The original idea is for it all to come out of CRA, and then we'll reimburse CRA as needed as some of these might trickle out of the agencies or the area. We'll reimburse from general fund,
Okay.
but a bulk of it will come from the agency.
Perfect. Any questions of Mr. Ludwig?
I just have a question concerning the form of the contract. Under term of agreement number 3, term begins on the date of the agreement and is for essentially a year, I guess. And it refers to early termination clause, but I don't see an early termination clause. Is that just understood?
Should be one in there.
Is there? Maybe
I believe it says it can be terminated at any time by the city if so chosen. One of those pages in there.
I just overlooked it. Can you, counsel, can you direct me to the paragraph?
I didn't see if they are solved really until the contract isn't until the services are completed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably my bad. I'm maybe just not seeing it. Oh, I see it. Term of agreement, item number 4, in the event either party wishes to terminate this agreement prior to completion, that party will be required to provide at least a 7 days notice. And that works both ways. Okay,
Right.
I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Mr. Ludwig, would you like to give us a vision?
Sure thing. So what I'm really excited to see with this project, over the course of the summer, of course, we had a couple of conversations. I had talked to the mayor, spoke with the city manager, and one of the things that I had an exciting opportunity to work on this summer was the Our Country Day video. And it was a set of a couple of different things that we wanted to have to be able to put on the city's social media, as well as the city's website, to be able to showcase for those not from the area who may be in town for an event, events such as the motocross rally that's coming this December and things of that nature, what our town has to offer. I wanted to be able to provide graphics and video content to follow up on that. And while I was working on the Our Country Day event, the thought came to mind through that entire process So just a brief overview on that. I shot the video. It's currently, if you haven't seen it, it's at the top of the city's Facebook page. It's still the pinned post. And the city put it out, and by and far, it's the most engaged video the city has ever received. I believe the next closest was about 3,000 views. This video has about 8.3 thousand. And the goal is to be able to create content for the city to both promote the city as well as, showcase to people who may not necessarily be from here, this is what is happening here. And so you have the side of things that are going to be shared on specifically the front, through the city's page that they can share city-related content. But then the other side that you have to it is what I'm really excited to call the Visit Keystone Heights initiative. I've been working through the process of developing some social media pages, but essentially what this is going to do is, so that video, the city was not able to advertise that video, but just not being advertised alone, that video had 8,000 views, more than 13,000 impressions. Imagine if you could put $500 of advertising behind it. That would do some, that would reach out to a lot more people. And I'll tell you, when that video was getting shared to local groups, the number of people who had no idea that there was something happening down here in Keystone, who wish that they had had an idea that something was happening in Keystone, and those who want to come next year, was extremely high. About 4,000 of those views came from people outside of the Keystone Heights area. And that's something that I want to take for our Country Day and transcribe it to other events too. I want Keystone to be looked at in the long term as a place that's a destination for different events, whether it be Food Truck Fridays, fall festivals, different events that are going to be taking place here. And specifically, and something I want to emphasize on the front of the advertising budget, that $3,000 is only going to be spent on events taking place inside of city limits, because in turn that generates money for our businesses, that brings people down here. Events in city limits or city aligned things such as the airport. Obviously, for the motocross rally, that will be of benefit to us as well. So I'm really, really excited about this project. It's going to have a lot of opportunity to help reach out to people who aren't necessarily seeing our content right now, and really, really work to boost things, bringing people to the area that will hopefully bring an economic boost to our businesses and restaurants as well.
Excellent. Any other questions of Mr. Ludwig?
Just a comment, the first thing that people look to when they're scoping out a particular community is the website. Right now, our website perhaps is or is not doing the job, but this looks like a major upgrade. Secondly, just a question, are you going to be working with the TDC closely?
So I have already spoken with Kimberly Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Kimberly have had some very good talks on that front. In fact, actually, the county so I had reached out to someone previously at the county about sharing the Our Country Day video. Due to the hurricane that was coming through at the time, Elsa, it didn't end up getting shared, but the county is in pretty much full cooperation on this, that whatever content we'll put out, because they are pretty much content starved in terms of things tourism related, they'll pretty much share almost whatever we put out.
Fortunately, you have a member of the TDC sitting right behind you.
I think there's going to be a really, really good partnership there. Like I said, they're starving for content, and we've got plenty of stuff down here and a whole lot on the up and up. And I think people are going to be, even the community, I think is going to be really, really excited to see that as well.
I'll tell you, on conversations with Ms. Morgan involving tourism, they're very excited to see a partnership like this bloom inside the city of Keystone Heights. They're very hopeful that other cities will be able to promote in a similar way, because it makes them, who's responsible for advertising for the entire county, a little bit easier, because the cities are taking responsibility for their own events, putting it out there. Mr. Ludwig's video for Our Country, I think, is by far probably the most hits that an event has had within the county.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll move that we approve the contract.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, we have a social media manager.
And I want to add one more thing on that front. First of all, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. And second of all, you all have my phone number. So if you have any ideas for stuff, I want this to be something that the city, whether it's you guys, whether it's TDC, I want this to be something that really brings the community together and fully advances community-focused ideas here. I'm really, really excited about this, because I think it's going to take our town to the next level. So please reach out to me anytime with any ideas you may have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is an item that's been tabled. Are we still tabling it, Ms. Rakowski?
Yes, Madam Mayor, this we brought to you in October just due to COVID that kind of fell behind.
Okay. Item C, downtown streetscape project scope and fee. Mr. Richard, would you like to come forward, please? Ms. Rakowski, do you want to get us started?
Absolutely. So this is the scope and fee that we've been promising for our downtown streetscape now that we're finished with the project from FDOT. We've partnered with DMRP. They've presented us with the cost for a plan so that we can move forward. This has been priority one on our list for the new year so that we can move forward and get this done. They've facilitated a plan that I believe captures some town halls, if you will, making sure that they speak to all the business owners, catching their needs, and then really capturing the next place that we're trying to take our downtown area. So with that being said, this contract is reflected in your budget, and Mr. Richard is here to answer any questions.
Mr. Richard,
Yes, ma'am.
how would you like to start? Do you want to give us an idea how this will all come together?
Certainly. So we anticipate that this will be a collaborative process. Obviously, there are several businesses, primary businesses within the downtown area. We don't have a predetermined vision. So I've seen some visioning boards that were prepared by a prior firm. However, it would not surprise me if some ideas have changed. Obviously, now that the completion of the work is done, now it's a little bit easier to understand what it's going to look like. So we anticipate having several listening sessions and then developing a vision based on the information that we receive from the public, from stakeholders, from businesses, from elected members, and then we can move forward with developing some boards. We obviously will work closely with FDOT. We've already identified some potential funding sources to work with District 2 that may add some value to the existing budget. We've done this several times. Our collaborator, our cohort, Elizabeth Manley with Manley Design Studio will be primary as far as a landscape architect in designing the plans. DRMP will be assisting with all the stakeholder meetings as well as the visioning and ensuring that everything is properly facilitated and noticed, working obviously with the city to conduct that business. And our goal is to have a complete plan set to you in January. Because
excellent.
we've been told that this is a priority project. So it's one of the first projects that we developed a scope and fee on after some discussion that we had with city staff to ensure that we understand the scope properly, scope and goals.
Any questions for Mr. Richard? Any questions, Mr. Brown? Ms. Kelly? No? Is there a motion?
Yeah, I move we go forward with this and approve the contract.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last item on the CRA agenda, the 2021-2022 CRA budget. Ms. Rakowski?
Madam Mayor, this is the same budget that you've been presented. I believe this is the fifth time. The only change is that we did have a final number that came in late last week for the scope and fee, so that's reflected in there, and the remainder of the funds went into advertising.
Are there any questions of staff on the CRA budget? Any questions? Is there a motion?
This is actually an amendment to the existing budget. I move that we accept this amendment.
And this
I don't
would be,
think,
no, this is a proposed for next
Oh, it is
fiscal year.
proposed?
Yes, I apologize, the header didn't get changed on this one, it changed in your other packet. But this is seeking a recommendation from the agency to council to
Yeah,
adopt.
I saw the caption is October 1, 2020 on one of the documents. I withdraw the motion.
is there a motion to pass the 2021-2022 CRA budget?
I so move.
Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 4-0. Is there anything else to come before the CRA agency?
I have nothing, Madam Mayor.
Okay, seeing none, we're adjourned.